Gnathostomata means bears the. Just type of animals, they bears the jaw. Okay. And these Gnathostomata, they have also divided into two different superclass. First is known as the Pisces and another is the tetrapods. So how they are divided on the basis of characters. What is the characters? So here they have given. In case of the Pisces, they bears the fins. In case of the Pisces, they bears the fin. And in case of the tetrapods, they bears the limbs. So tetrapods what bear? Tetrapods bears the limbs and Pisces bear the fins. On the basis of these are divided into two different superclass. One is the Pisces, another is the tetrapods. Pisces we will discuss later. Okay. So this is the basics classification. I took this from this photo from the NCERT, and this is a very good explaining, and you can easily understand. Okay. So Pisces have the two classes. One is called the Chondrichthyes, another is the Osteichthyes. Chondrichthyes is also known as the cartilaginous fishes. Osteichthyes also known as the bony fishes. Tetrapoda, they have the bear limbs. Tetrapoda, they have the two pair of limbs. Tetra means four, poda means limbs. So here are the two pair limbs or four limbs found in the tetrapoda. Okay. And these superclass have the four different class: amphibia, reptilia, aves, that is birds, and mammals. Clear? Amphibia, reptilia, birds, and mammals. So these are considered as a class of the superclass. So these are considered as a class of the superclass of tetrapoda. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the detail of the superclass Pisces. Okay. So superclass Pisces, that means you can say we are going to discuss detail about the superclass. So second division Gnathostomata. So Gnathostomata, you can see here why I am saying Gnathostomata. Such type of animals bears the jaw. Okay. Gnatha means mouth. Gnatha means jaw. Stoma means mouth. So such type of animals at the jaw region they have. At the mouth region they have the jaw. Clear? Superclass Pisces. These superclass Pisces have the two different class. One is called the Chondrichthyes and another is the Osteichthyes. Clear? One is called the Chondrichthyes, another is the Osteichthyes. Why we are saying Chondrichthyes? Chondrichthyes means cartilaginous fishes. Chondrichthyes means cartilaginous fishes. Why? Because and what is the cartilaginous? Cartilaginous means these bones can be flexible, folded. Okay. So this is not highly ossified. Ossified means no ossification, no calcium carbonate layer much deposited. Okay. So due to this you can fold, you can easily change. Okay. Their shape can be changed. So due to this is known as the Chondrichthyes. Okay. And these have the endoskeleton which is made up of the cartilaginous. This endoskeleton is the cartilaginous and it is known as the Chondrichthyes. These fishes are the marine. If you will check, so these are the marine fishes. And streamlined body. What means of the streamlined body? Suppose that this is the structure. This is the structure. These are considered as a streamlined body. And you already seen the boat. Boat also have the streamlined shape, by which they can easily flow in the water current. They can easily swim in the water current. Okay. So boat shape streamlined. Here fish also there. Fish also have their shape. So their body shape of the streamlined. Okay. And cartilaginous endoskeleton. So mouth is located ventrally. What means of the located ventrally? Suppose that this is the structure. So this is the structure of fish. So here you can say this is the structure of fish. So mouth is located ventrally. Suppose that here mouth located here. This is called the ventrally. This is the ventrally mouth. And sometime mouth located here. This is called the terminally. Terminally we will discuss later next class. That is the Osteichthyes. Osteichthyes mouth located terminally. But in case of the Chondrichthyes, so their mouth located is the ventrally. In case of the Chondrichthyes, so their mouth located is the ventrally. Okay. Gill slits are separate and without operculum. Here I have the gill slits and these slits are the separated and no operculum. Operculum means gill cover. Gill slits are covered by the gill cover and these gill cover found in case of the Chondrichthyes. Chondrichthyes they have the gill cover. Clear? If we'll see next point, so what they have given we will discuss here. The skin is tough containing. Here they have given, so what they have given, skin is the tough. Tough means scales. Skin or have the scales or beard the scale. Clear? So due to this, skin is the tough containing minute placoid scale. They have the scales and these are the minute placoid scale. And if we will see in the next class, that is the osteichthyes. They have the tenoid or cycloid scale. Okay. So teeth are the modified placoid scales. So these placoid scales, these are modified into the teeth. These are modified into the teeth, and which are backwardly directed. Backwardly directed means that is little bit backside. These teeth are little bit backside. Clear? If we'll see their example, so here is scoliodon, which is also known as the dogfish. Next is the Pisces. Pisces is the sawfish. Why we are saying sawfish? Because if you'll see their mouth structure, so they have the saw-like structure, and you know saw used for the cutting of the any wood or iron is used as a saw. Okay, so due to this, Pisces also known as sawfish. This is the structure of the saw. Okay, next is the electric ray, that is torpedo. Electric ray, they have the some electric organ, and stingray, this have the sting poison. Okay, and this is the structure of the scoliodon fishes. Okay, so these have given the example of the chondrichthyes fishes. Chondrichthyes fishes also known as the cartilaginous fishes. Why I had already told this. Okay, next you can see here. So their jaws, okay, their jaws. We are also talking about the Gnathostomata. It means they have the bears the jaw. Okay, so their jaw are very powerful. So they have the jaw, and which is the very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Predaceous means predator. Means they behave such a predator. They generally captures the prey and eat them. Okay. Due to the absence of air bladder, one also interesting feature of this chondrichthyes. So due to the absence of air bladder, so here no air bladder, so they have this constantly swim to prevent the sinking. So it can't constantly swim. Why? Because they have no air bladder, and the function of air bladder, it provide the buoyancy. The function of air bladder provide the buoyancy, and by which, if they have no air bladder, it means there is need the constantly swimming. There is need of the constantly swim. Why? To avoid the sinking, to prevent the sinking. Clear? Next, this is the characteristic feature of all fishes. Heart is the two-chambered. Every fishes have the heart is two-chambered. One is the auricle, another is the ventricle. So one is auricle, another is the ventricle. Some of them have electric organs. I had already told, that is the electric ray torpedo. They have the some electric organ. Some fishes possess the poison sting, that is called trigon. Stingray, trigon. They are cold-blooded animal, that means poikilotherms. What means of the cold-blooded? You have already studied in the 12th standard organism and population chapter. In that particular chapter, we have discussed the difference. We have discussed this point: cold-blooded or poikilotherms. This is also known as the conformer. Cold-blooded or poikilotherms. They are also considered as a conformer. Okay. So poikilotherms means, you can say, their body temperature vary according to their surroundings. It means they have not constant body temperature. Okay. And one thing here, they have also given the sexes are separated. If you see, so their sexes, okay, so their sexes are separated, means dioecious in nature. Sexes are separated. And one interesting feature of this here, male, in case of the chondrichthyes, males bear the clasper. This is near to pelvic veins. This is located near to pelvic veins. This is known as the clasper, and each clasper involved in the mating phenomenon. This involves in the mating phenomenon, because you know they show the internal fertilization, and these are the viviparous, means young ones producing animal. Here they have given the example. If you see the example, so example is the scoliodon, dogfish; Pisces, sawfish; carcharodon, great white shark; trigon, stingray. Clear? How you learn? So this is not some specific trick. This just have given the alphabetical, so you can learn. P, Pisces; S, scoliodon; C, carcharodon; T stands for trigon. So these have given the example of the Chondrichthyes fishes. Okay. So now we will see the next class of the Pisces superclass. Next class of the superclass Pisces, Osteichthyes. Osteichthyes also known as the bony fishes. Why are bony fishes? Because cartilaginous is the highly ossification. Ossification means deposition of the calcium carbonate. Here highly ossification takes place. Due to this, it is considered as a bony fishes. Endoskeleton is the bony. Clear? If you have already seen in case of the cartilaginous, most of them they marine, but here marine and freshwater fishes. It means both they include the both marine as well as freshwater fishes, and with bony endoskeleton. I had already told. Mouth is mostly terminal. We have already told. Terminal means like here you can see this. Your mouth is the terminal. Terminal means anterior end. They are terminated with the mouth. So this is called the terminally. And in case of the chondrichthyes, so mouth is located. In case of the chondrichthyes, mouth is located in the ventrally. Okay. They have the 4 pair of gills which are covered by an operculum. You already seen in case of the chondrichthyes. In case of the chondrichthyes, no operculum on each side. It means here every side, each side they have the operculum, and operculum is known as the gill cover. Operculum is known as the gill cover. In case of the chondrichthyes, gill cover is not found. Okay. Skin is covered with the cycloid scale. In case of the chondrichthyes, they have the placoid scale, and here they have the cycloid scales. Okay. Air bladder is present. In case of the chondrichthyes, no air bladder. Here they have the air bladder present, and the air bladder provide the buoyancy. There is very little required to constant swimming, because they have the air bladder, and these air bladder provide the buoyancy. Clear? So next they are the mostly oviparous. Oviparous means egg laying, and development is direct. No larval stage. There is the direct development. Here you can see the example. So here anguilla, and this is the seahorse, hippocampus, executus, flying fish, and they have given the large number of example redfish. Okay, so we will discuss next point of this example. So here they have given the example. So you can see number of example here they have given. First is the exocytus. First they have given what they have given. They have given the exocytus. Exocytus also known as flying fish. Exocytus also known as the flying fish. Next is the hippocampus. Hippocampus also known as the seahorse. And in case of the hippocampus male bears the brood pouch. Here then freshwater also known as the Labiorhoita rohu, commonly known as the rohu, and this is the freshwater. So we already talked about that. So these are the freshwater marine, and some also used as an aquarium purpose. So you can see here they have been freshwater Labiorhoita, that is the rohu. Next is the katla, that is the, they have given the katla fishes. Okay, and Clarias batrachus, that is the mangur. Clarias batrachus mangur. Aquarium fishes. So here they have also aquarium. Betta, that is flying fighting fish, and pterophyllum, angelfish. Clear? So betta fighting fish, and pterophyllum, angelfish. So these have given the example, and I will provide one short trick by which you can learn very sharply. Okay. Here short trick you can see. This is the very easy, you can understand. Excise health minister advised to people buy costly CSIR. So if anyone will advise buy costly, why I will buy costly, but you don't go emotional. You should to learn only the short trick for the biological. Don't this is not the society level, is the fact. Okay, so you should to learn only the trick. Okay. So excise health minister advised to people buy costly CFL. Excise means exocytus. Health minister, health stands for hippocampus. Marine minister, okay. Advice to people. A stands for aquarium. P stands for pterophyllum, and B buy stands for beta. Costly CFL. F means freshwater. L means Labiorhoita, and C stands for Clarias, and costly stands for catala. So this is the short trick by which you can learn. Okay, and we will discuss the difference between chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. So here you can see the difference between chondrichthyes and osteichthyes. So I am going to write. You can see. Okay. So here suppose that C stands for chondrichthyes and B stands for bony fishes, that is the osteichthyes. Okay. So chondrichthyes, B bony fishes. Okay. Chondrichthyes, they are provided with they have not operculum. They have not operculum. So operculum absent. Bony fishes operculum present. Squall is in case of the chondrichthyes have the placoid scale. Bony fish have the ctenoid or cycloid scale. In case of the chondrichthyes, they have the, it means you can say in case of the chondrichthyes, it is only the marine, but in case of the bony fish, it marine as well as freshwater. In case of the chondrichthyes, male bears the clasper. Here no such type of organ. In case of the chondrichthyes, internal fertilization and viviparous. Here bony fish, oviparous, and development is the direct. So these are the difference between chondrichthyes and osteichthyes, and I think you are getting, you are understanding very sharply. And thank you. And one time I had already told in the last video. One time in the previous video, I had told in the last when this class you are finished. So in the last I will ask one question, and today I am going to ask one question. And what you will do, you will reply. Okay, you will reply. And those who will reply correct answer, I will display their name. Okay. So question is the utili. What is the utili and where it found? Utili, that means EUTELY. What is the utili and where it found? What is the utili, where it found? And it is related, this term is related to this chapter. Means this term is related to animal kingdom chapter. So what is the utili, you will find. Okay. So thank you for patience and cooperation, and thank you.